Hello and welcome to Rebirth of the Night Survival Tips and Tricks. In this video we're going to learn some basic survival tips that will make your time in Rebirth of the Night much easier and will allow you to keep your focus on progression, or rather just enjoy your survival without it feeling too grindy. Survival tip number 1. Your first shelter. Rebirth of the Night makes the nighttime much more dangerous, and you won't last long out there without some kind of shelter. However, zombies in this pack are much more focused on getting to you and eating you, and they will tear down your house to do so. It is important when taking shelter to consider the materials the house is made of. A dirt shack will not work, even for the first night. Even a multi-level wooden home will not consistently protect you, as zombies will often spawn with an axe, giving them the ability to tear down any wooden blocks you place in front of them. Should you decide to make a sky base or an elevated base, do not forget that zombies will pillar on self-made dirt towers to get to you, and prevent you from sleeping. I've found that a simple one-room hut made from cobblestone is your best method to survive the first night, but my personal preference is to explore the world and find a pre-made shelter to save on materials and time. If you're lucky enough to gather enough string or wool on the first night, make yourself a bed and sleep through the night. But be wary that if your hut is not well lit, creatures will spawn inside and wake you during the night. A great way to ensure your home is lit well enough to allow sleep is to create glare torches, which leads us to our next tip. Glare torches are an extremely useful, if somewhat expensive, way to ensure that you're able to light your way effectively. Crafting glare torches requires a bit more coal than a standard torch, but the light they produce is well worth the cost. You can make glare torches by placing an already made torch in the bottom center slot of your crafting table, and place 5 coal around the torch to create the next level glare torch. You can repeat this process with each glare torch to create even brighter torches, ending in the brilliant glare torch with a far greater brightness range. Now, hopefully by this time you've survived your first night, so the question you may be finding yourself asking here is, now what? After your first night, there are 2 things that you can do to ensure that you can continue to survive in Rebirth of the Night, and those are mining and farming. Personally, I find that farming is a better place to start, as you can get your crops growing before they are needed, and they will continue to grow while you are off tending to other things. A good way to get that first farm set up is to find a nearby village and borrow some of their crops. But keep in mind that if you take their crops without replanting them with your right click, you will lose reputation with the village. Losing enough reputation can cause the guards to attack you on sight, so be sure to replant those crops. Another way to find crops for planting is to check gardens. Gardens will drop a variety of foods that you can turn into seeds. However, there are multiple varieties of gardens that will drop certain foods based on location. There are 6 types of gardens, which include arid gardens, soggy gardens, frozen gardens, tropical gardens, shaded gardens, and windy gardens. These gardens can be found in sandy and mesa biomes, snowy and mountain biomes, forest and spooky biomes, swamp and river biomes, jungle and ocean biomes, and plains and savanna biomes, respectively. However, there are many other biomes for you to explore in Rebirth of the Night, so try to get out there and find something unique and interesting. One of the mods included with Rebirth of the Night is Pam's Harvestcraft, which adds some 80 crops to the game, which greatly increases your survivability, as you can effectively make nutritious food out of almost anything. My personal favorite starting recipes are rice soup, chili, and extreme chili for relatively easy and filling food. As farming is a great way to maintain your health and hunger, so too does it come with its own set of challenges and hardships. Rebirth of the Night includes a seasonal mod to change the season every 9 in-game days, beginning with summer, which will affect which crops grow effectively without the use of greenhouse glass. Greenhouse glass is an extremely valuable block that allows you to grow crops year-round, regardless of their preferred season. To create greenhouse glass, you must craft cyan dye by grinding swamp flowers, glow flowers, or teal glow shroom in a mortar and pestle, or by combining green dye and blue dye. You will want to make sure your farm is enclosed to prevent creatures from breaking in and destroying your crops. Also, make sure that passive mobs such as sheep, cows, and other livestock are unable to reach your crops, as they will eat them and drink the water used to hydrate the soil. Farming the crops for chili, extreme chili, and rice soup are pretty easy, as you can find the rice in soggy gardens found in swampy biomes, beans in shaded gardens found in forest and spooky biomes, and chili peppers and onions in windy gardens found in plains and savanna biomes. To make rice soup, all you need to do is farm some rice, which can be found in soggy gardens and swampy biomes, and combine with stock, which can be made by putting bones, any raw meat, or any vegetable in a pot, and then adding the rice to the stock while still having the pot in the crafting table. To make chili and extreme chili, just combine beans, onions, or chili peppers and beef in a pot, and you've got basic chili. Adding another chili pepper to the already completed chili makes extreme chili, which recovers 5 hunger and 12 saturation over the basic chili, which recovers 4 hunger and 9 saturation. The more difficult part of the chili recipe is reliably farming beef, but rice soup is a good intermediary recipe to fill the gaps while you establish your livestock. Once you've gotten your farm reliably making food for you, the next step is to get yourself down in the depths to mine that sweet ore. Ore generation in Rebirth is handled a little differently than in default Minecraft, as veins typically spawn in clusters rather than in individual nodes. Typically, my rule of thumb is to mine 5 blocks in all directions when I find a vein of something valuable. If you are beneath Y12, you will surely find diamond often that way. Another note for you, strip mining in this pack is not effective, as pre-generated caves will often have huge veins of every ore that branch off into other ores. Pre-gen caves are going to be filled to the brim with mobs of all sorts, but there are a couple of things to look out for that may catch you off guard. Zombies will often have parasites that will leap out of their body on death, which will try and spread to any other nearby host, including yourself. If a parasite attaches itself to another zombie, that zombie will also drop more parasites on death, so watch out for waves of zombies when they're infected. You will also encounter monster traps, which explode into a multitude of mobs when you get too close to them, so be wary of those. Overall, there is a lot to do and see in Rebirth of the Night, and we haven't even scratched the surface in this video. The developers are constantly updating the pack and adding their own flavor to an already groundbreaking game. Rebirth of the Night means a lot to me personally, as I had stopped playing Minecraft back in 2012, and with the vanilla gameplay not being particularly challenging, I couldn't find a reason to keep playing as my building skills are quite bland. Survival has always been my go-to game style, and I thoroughly enjoy what Rebirth has done for Minecraft, and as of now, the Discord community is over 2,500 members strong, and Rebirth of the Night is just shy of 300,000 downloads on Twitch/CurseForge. I will be putting the link for the mod pack in the description below, as well as the Discord link, so come find me in the Discord and I can help you get started in Rebirth on my own personal server, as well as the numerous community servers ran by devoted Rebirth players. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more Rebirth of the Night content, including patch update videos and more tips and tricks, as well as my survival series.